Hello, what's going on, guys? Marcus from WallStreetAssassins back at it again with another video. Today's January 23rd. The market has been pushing. Most stocks are basically up on the day. And the title, you guys read the title. It says how to basically swing trade a stock, right? How do I know when to enter for a possible swing trade, right? You probably missed the bottom of an overall stock you've been watching and you've been thinking about, wow, how was I able to time this to enter for a possible long position, right? So all depends on the type of trades that you're doing. You either want to look at your 3 year. Right now, we're using the platform TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. You want to look at your 3 year, 1 week, right? This is your weekly chart, meaning each candle over here, no matter how big or small, they are 1 week of time, 1 week of information. So the reason we're watching this chart is because we want to see overall what has this stock been doing for the past 3 years, especially if you're swing trading. You want to know the overall direction of the stock you're looking at, right? Next thing, right? Next thing you want to know, what indicators am I looking at, right? Main indicator you want to look at is going to be your relative strength index, aka the RSI indicator. Next one, you want your MACD indicator. And then another one is the moving average exponential. This is basically the indicators that I use every day to trade. So you guys could copy and paste. I'll give you a little time, bada bing, bada boom. Let's move on to the next one, right? So using these indicators, how do I understand when is a good time to get in, right? So the relative strength indicator down here, this is what's called the RSI indicator. This lets me know, hey, when is a good time to possibly get in. The MACD indicator gives me that buy signal or it gives me that sell signal, right? So it tells me when to short, when not to short, right? But before everything, I always look at my RSI indicator. You can see it's numbered over here from 80 down towards 30. 30, that's really oversold, right? Oversold means good deal, good time to basically buy the stock. I'm giving you guys some good information. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button real early. So next one, when we're around 80 or 70 and higher, you can see it kind of peaks out red over here. That's very overbought. If you look directly above, right, don't take my word for it. Do your own analysis, do your own DD. And whenever you see a stock that is very overbought, typically, if you look at the charts, we do start to pull back. You never see, hey, it's going to keep on running overbought, which sometimes that happens, but you got to understand when it's overbought, you got to know what's the possibility of this thing going any higher than this, right? Same situation when the RSI is oversold. You got to think about, hey, what's the possibility of this thing dropping any further, right? So one, you look at your RSI. Two, you get in on your MACD crossovers. Now, depending on what kind of trading you're doing, right? If I'm trying to get into a stock for some, maybe I'm holding for a year or two, maybe I'm going to get in on maybe the 3 year crossovers, right? 3 year crossover, you can see the RSI over here cross down. This was 2022 September, and we're looking at stock Tesla over here. Forgot to tell you guys the stock, right? We're looking at Tesla. This is 3 year, 1 week. And you can see the MACD cross down over here. And we basically been trading underneath my EMA line over here, right? This EMA line is that third thing you want to watch for, right? When a stock breaks below it, the stock is bearish and it won't be bullish unless it breaks back above it, right? This long line over here is the SMA. That's kind of like the divider in the page telling me, hey, when it's above this divider, the stock is deemed bullish, below it, bearish, right? So whenever you get into a stock, you're always making a checklist, right? How many bullish things do you see? How many bearish things do you see, right? Overall, right now we're looking at Tesla real time, right? You can see it's moving. The market closed around like 4 o'clock Eastern. You can see the RSI is more towards the oversold side. Although we haven't broke the 3 year EMA line, if it does break it, the next possible resistance, right? So the 3 year EMA is sitting around like 147, 148. If we do break that, we could possibly have some resistance, meaning some struggle around that 182. So we could enter for a long position from 148 up towards that 182 if I'm looking for a longer period of time, right? Preferably, right? Me, I don't know. When I'm trading, I don't like too many walls ahead of me. 148 to that 184, that is a beautiful move right there. You could sell it right there, or if you could follow it with a stop loss and you could hold it for possible new highs, right? So if you're looking for long-term swings, you could look at the 3 year. Say if you're looking for a little bit more of a short-term swing, you could look at the 1 year, right? I like to look at either the 1 year, 1 week, Same situation. Each candle over here represents 1 week. You can see the MACD hasn't fully crossed over on Tesla. Although Tesla had a bullish day today, it's not overall bullish on the 1 year, 1 week as well. Why? Because we're below this blue line still, right? We need to break above that 148 before we can start pushing up towards the 180s. MACD has not crossed over yet, right? So typically when I'm looking at my charts, I like to color code things, right? Which we'll get that into that in a few seconds, right? Let's jump over towards the 1 year, 1 day over here, right? So 1 year, 1 day, if I'm looking for a nice swing trade, right? Look at these crossovers on the MACD, right? Cross down over here. Tesla literally went from like 177 down towards 101, right? You can see the numbers floating around here. So now Tesla is looking bullish on the 1 year, 1 day. Look at this, right? So let's color code everything, right? I always like to put this one, right? The EMA. I just double click over here, right? This is my price level. You go to the toolbox over here, you go to price level, right? And now I just right click and I edit properties. And to me, I put this as a solid orange. Why? Because that's a divider in my page, right? If we're above this, we're bullish. When we get below it, we're bearish, right? And then, of course, you have your support over here at 101, right? Then you could basically have your intermediate resistance at 150, and then so on, right? You guys know how to chart a chart. I always put the 1 year, 1 day SMA as in a blue color. Same situation, right? Right click, and then I could put it in a blue over here. So I know, hey, these are my major areas. When I drop down towards my 180-day and lower charts, right? Now I could basically see where these stocks are overall going, right? So looking at this chart over here, what did I tell you? First thing we're looking at is the RSI. RSI is sitting around 55. Does it have room to go up? Yes. Does it have room to go down? Yes, right? So we got to be flexible, right? You never want to go into a stock fully committed, right? But right now, we're giving bullish signs. We're above the trade line over here, right? We have a resistance at 150, which are we going to hit it tomorrow? Are we not going to hit it tomorrow, right? So you got to basically be patient with that. You kind of missed the boat on this one. The best time to enter for a swing trade, especially if you're going long, is when the RSI is around 30, right? You're getting those low RSI levels and you got that MACD crossover, right? You can see, right? We were sitting around 30 over here and we got a MACD crossover, and literally Tesla basically went from 114 and we're at 144 on option contracts. That's an amazing move right there. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I'm giving you guys too much information right now, right? So if we basically come down, right, and we start to be bearish on Tesla, I'm looking for a break of the EMA around 130, and then we could possibly go back down towards those 101 levels, right? So after I analyze this, right, you could either enter on this chart. If I'm looking for a solid swing trade, right, and I'm catching the move early, you could enter on this chart right here, the 1 year, 1 day. This is the money chart right here if you're entering for a swing trade, right? You wait for your oversold play, you get that MACD crossover, you enter for your long position. But you're like, whoa, what if, Marcus, I'm waiting for a short position, right? Same situation in reverse, right? You're looking for an overbought RSI, you wait for that MACD crossover. Look how strong this move was to the downside. So make sure you guys watch out for that overall. We basically dropped from 292 all the way down towards like 206. And how do I know when to get out of these trades, right? Well, you're going to follow the RSI again, just like the RSI tells you when to get in, it tells you when to get out, right? I'm getting in oversold, I'm selling overbought, right? If I'm going for a long position, I'm getting in overbought and I'm selling oversold for my short positions, right? Now check out the 180-day. Boom. Looking at the 180-day, Tesla has been on an overall downward trend. You can see this very clearly over here. I don't know if I'm seeing stuff, but you can see overall Tesla has been on a downward trend. And we just kind of broke out of this wedge today, right? Tesla kind of broke out of that wedge. It's touching the SMA. What's going to happen tomorrow, right? The SMA normally acts as resistance when the stock is below it, acts as support when the stock is above it, right? Number one thing I always check before I enter these charts, right? If you guys remember, I said it multiple times, I check my RSI. RSI is saying that Tesla is overbought, right? So that is very much a high risk. So at this point in time, I will not look for any long positions on Tesla just because the RSI is basically red. It's telling me, hey, it's overbought. Does it have the possibility to go up? Yes, it does have the possibility to go up, right? Am I going to take that position? No, because I know most of the time when the RSI is overbought, that means the stock is more in favor to go down, right? So what do I do now, right? How do I prepare for my short position, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait for the break of the 180-day trade line, the EMA, that blue line that the stock basically trades above. I color code it as well too. So I already did a solid line for my 1 year. I'm going to do a long dash dotted line for my 180 days. So now I know once we break this 138 price point, and I could right click, create alert, app below, just in case I'm trading another stock, I'm alerted that, hey, Tesla's breaking that 138. I could probably short it to that 1 year EMA over here at 132, which would be a beautiful short. 138 down towards 132 on some option contracts. You guys already know what it is. These options move quick. So make sure you guys watch out for that. Now, if it does break that level, then the next key level we could possibly go to, you can see we have some type of resistance over here. That resistance can become support, and Tesla will go down towards 125. Very overbought RSI, but I don't like to keep it right there, right? So we already have one confirmation of bearishness, right? Let's check the 20-day. So I'm checking my 1 year, 1 day, I'm checking my 180-day 4 hour, and I'm checking my 20-day, right? The more charts you have in your favor, the main thing is, right? You're, like I said before, you're having more confirmations. You need confirmation of bearishness, of bullishness on multiple charts. The more charts you have confirming one thing, that's making your trade plan even more solid, right? You want your trade plans to be solid. Boom, second chart over here. Our side is extremely overbought. We're sitting around 77. What does that mean, guys? That means it's a possibility that the stock is going to drop. Am I entering for a long position? Not at all. Not over here. They got away from me. I would want to see this RSI to reset itself, get back to being oversold. If I'm looking for a long position, that's where I'm entering. If we're looking at Tesla over here, right? This massive move we just had, right? If we're looking at this massive move, Tesla just went from 127, right? We peaked at 137. We went down towards like 127, even a low of 123. And then we started to hold above this EMA. Whenever we're above that EMA, that is a strong confirmation that, hey, this stock is doing what it needs to do to be bullish, right? It's holding above that EMA. As soon as that EMA is violated, I'm selling. That is my sell point. That is my stop loss. I do not want to hold past that. Why? Because once it breaks that, that is a trend change. Make sure you guys remember this. This is free game. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, send this video to a friend, right? So after that, once we break this EMA line to the downside, what is it going to look like, right? Luckily, TD has a whole bunch of cool tools that we could kind of simulate, right? We get a nice little red candle to the downside over here, right? We get a nice little red candle to the downside. I'm selling, right? Why? I'm selling right here. I don't want to hold past this. So I also color code the 20-day as well too. Let's go back to price level, right? So this way, if I'm looking at a smaller chart, I could know automatically, bada bing, bada boom, where my 20-day is, where my 180-day is. So I put this as a smaller dotted orange line. You guys could use whatever color you guys want. This is just what I do, right? So soon as that line is broken, I am selling, right? But overall, RSI is overbought. I wouldn't enter this position. I wouldn't enter the stock for a long position at this point. I would wait for the break of 143, and then you could short it down towards 139, right? So that 20-day gives you an earlier entry, right? That 180-day is going to be full confirmation of bearishness, but we got tons of confirmation of bearishness, right? The 20-day RSI is overbought. 180-day RSI is overbought. Next, we need confirmation of those MACDs to cross down. Need the 20-day to cross down. I want both these charts to be looking identical, right? Both these MACDs to cross down, right? Our sides are both identical. We just need both of them to cross down. Then we could basically break from 143 down towards 138. And it could possibly go even lower, depending on how quick this drop happens. Sometimes you could get a quick drop and it resets in a day. Then you just take profits. If I'm in this stock and I plan to swing this thing and I see the RSI gets oversold really quick, then I'm selling, because at the end of the day, we're above that 1 year AMA, right? That deep orange line I have over here. If we're still above this, if we take a drop and we still hold above this, I'm not holding this for any longer, right? Because it goes bounce off this level. Just like it bounces off this trade line, it will bounce off that 1 year trade line, right? It has done it before. We have had red days on Tesla and it has held above that 1-year EMA, and we're still continuing to push up. So overall, large trend, stock is bullish. Short-term trend, you could enter for intermediate short position because the smaller charts, technically, right, 180-day, 20-day smaller charts compared to the 1 year are considered overbought, and the upside is limited at this point. So we could have a possible pullback and retest those 132 levels. Comment below. What do you guys think, right? I know you guys are some chart experts, right? Comment below. What stock are you guys watching? Do you guys think Tesla's going to continue going up? All right. Do you think it's going to break this SMA? This SMA can act as a major wall, right? Whenever that stock is below it, you can see that it's more in favor to go lower. We are trying to hold above it today, right? At an overbought position. Anything can happen. Make sure you guys always, number one, check that RSI, check your MACD, check your EMA placement, compare and contrast with your 20-day and 180-day, and then you'll guys see success. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys found value in this video. I upload very frequently, so make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.